Hey everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody, and I am here with my Studio Calico April kit review. And this is the scrapbook kit as well as the documenter kit. I'm going to share with you the details of the kit, what I have left from the kit, and what I created with the kit, and also kind of my thoughts of the kit. Sorry, I'm kind of battling some allergy issues, so we'll see how well this works. Okay, so for the month of April, I went ahead and I purchased the scrapbook kit and the documenter kit, which are basically the scrapbook kit, kind of a self-explanatory. And the documenter kit is the pocket page or project life style kit that they offered for the month. So on my blog, if you're not familiar with the way I do my kit review series, on my blog, I always have a spreadsheet that gives all the details of the kit. It also has the details of the previous month's kit, so you can kind of compare, see what I was able to make with each of the kits, and then also just kind of get a little bit of information about shipping and what comes in the kit and things like that. Now, Studio Calico, I failed to mention this in my original kit reveal or unboxing video, but Studio Calico as of late has offered a lot of specials on their kits. They also had a lot of like mystery kit purchases that you could do and different things like that. So if you're interested in Studio Calico, but you may not want to actually subscribe yet, add yourself to their mailing list because they are always offering some sort of special or some kind of discount code or something like that. It seems like they've been doing that a lot recently. So if you're interested in the kit but don't necessarily want to spend $40 on the scrapbook kit, add yourself to their mailing list because you may get some coupons or other things like that in your email box. So I went ahead when I got the kit and I combined them because I wasn't really sure how I wanted to use them. And so I combined the two kits together. So this is what I have left out of both of the kits. And I'll kind of give you a little bit of information as we go. So the pattern, so let's start with what came in the kit. So the scrapbook kit came with 7 12x12 pattern papers, 4 12x12 solid cardstock papers, 8 embellishments, and 1 3x4 stamp set. And then the documenter kit came with 30 journaling cards and 10 embellishments. One of them was a stamp set. All right, and so let me show you what I have left. So let's start with the pattern papers. So it came with 7, and I have 1 left. I actually really like this paper, but I just couldn't figure out how to use the embellishments with this paper. So I have 1 pattern paper left. It came with 4 cardstock sheets. And this is all I have left. I have 1 full sheet and 1 5x12 sheet. And these actually coordinate together, but I couldn't figure out how to use them, like I said. The documenter kit came with 30 cards, and there were also 2 title cards, one for the scrapbook kit and one for the documenter kit. And then there was also a 4x6 like vellum card that came with the documenter kit, which is one of the embellishments. But so there technically were 33 cards, I guess you could say, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 cards left. So out of 33, I have 11 cards. 1 4x6 and 10 3x4 cards. Now, let me give you a little bit of information about these cards. Though not all of them are my style, these cards are extremely well made. They're really thick. They're probably the thickest Project Life cards I've ever received. I really like the quality of them. I just was finding it difficult so I could have coordinated these blues and these blacks and whites and a couple of the other ones, but I really struggled with this kit, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a moment. But anyways, the cards are really nice quality. All right, I have my 2 stamp sets left, of course. I have the one that came with the scrapbook kit and one that came with the documenter kit, and these were both designed by Life Love Paper. So I take them out of the packaging because I don't store them in the original packaging, but I do have them labeled on the back, so I know what to put the label on my Avery Elle pockets. Okay, and then and I don't remember exactly which ones came from the scrapbook kit and which ones came from the documenter kit, but these are all the embellishments I have left. Oh, let me show you my scraps. And I want to mention, these are the scraps that I'm going to throw away. These are actually the packaging pieces. These are pieces of packaging, like the stamp set packaging and things like that. And then these are all just all my little bits and pieces that I normally cut off. So I'm going to throw these away. I'm not going to keep these. But these are the rest of the scraps of the papers that I'm going to keep. This is actually a piece of that packaging. But I have a few little bits of the solid cardstock. One of the cards, Project Life cards that I cut apart, and then one of the border strips left. Oh, and then a tiny little piece of this one Project Life card that had journaling lines. So this is actually going to go in my scrap stash. All these little extra pieces in the packaging scraps are going to go in the trash. Excuse my sniffles, guys. I apologize. All right, so now let's talk about the embellishments that are left. You're going to notice that I have a ton of these labels. This was a 12 by 12 pattern paper that I cut apart into the labels, and it had this beautiful stripe on the back side. I do have something very similar to this in my stash, so I decided to go ahead and cut this apart and use it for labels because I'll use the labels on every layout I have. And then also the labels that are in this little bin, this was a 4 by 6 card that I cut apart. That is basically those same things, but smaller. So let me take these out of here. Of course I'm keeping those. I'm not getting rid of those. And I'll even keep little pieces of the labels like this to put in my stash. All right, so let's get to the embellishments. There are these little confetti or sequins pieces. This is the gold, or these are the gold stars and the little copper hexagons. One of them came in the scrapbook kit and one came in the embellishment, in the documenter kit. So that's actually 2 embellishments here. Then I had these numbers, and I believe I used 5 of them. They were 0 through 9, and they were kind of varying shades of orange. And I think I used 5 of them total. I really struggled with these, and then to have 2 of them, or 2 sets of them, was really difficult for me. So that was 1, 2 embellishments, 3, 4 embellishments. I have the washi tape, which I used a lot, but of course I have left, so that's embellishment number 5. This alpha came in the documenter kit, and I loved it because you got 2 sets of this alpha. This is a fantastic size. I used it a lot, as you can see, but I do have a lot left. I only have a few E's and 1 S left, but I have a ton of A's, I's, O's, and U's, and of course all the numbers. So that's another embellishment. This one I thought for sure I would never use, and then on my very last project that I created, I did use these. But I used 3 of the 6 little paint brushes, and these are by Jasmine Jones. This is also by Jasmine Jones, and these were the vellum, excuse me, quotes, and I used 5 of the 6. I have this one left, and it's only because the colors didn't really coordinate with any of the pages I was doing. So I have 1 of those left. Of the cork pieces, I think I used exactly half of them, and these are by Hello Forever. I like the fact that they're adhesive, but it's extremely strong adhesive, so you kind of have to be careful when you pull it off from the page, because I have ripped, I think, 2 of them. I salvaged them and used them, but it was difficult to get them off the backing sheet. But I do like these. These are a really nice size. I also have these left of the like epoxy circle embellishments or enamel dots, or however you want to say it. There were 2 that came, 1 in each kit, and they weren't the same designs. They were the same number of them, but let's see, there are 5, 10. There were 22 on each of these, so I had 44, and I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I only have 10 left, so out of 44, I only have 10 of those left, so that obviously was a plus. This is the alpha that came in the scrapbook kit, and I used it a lot. I've used all the A's, all the E's, most of the U's. I, of course, have a lot of numbers left and a lot of O's and I's, so I can still make a lot with this. And then these are the stamp packaging that I was just showing you that I used. I used all of the large yellow hearts and all of the small silver hearts. I also used the Jasmine Jones large cork word or phrase. I used that. And then I used all the Hello Forever chipboard pieces. I used all of those. So let's see how many embellishments that was. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. What am I missing? Oh, the glassine bag. I used that. That's 17. Okay, and then 18 would have been the 4x6 like green acetate piece that I used as one of the cards. So I used up a good portion of this. Now, obviously, I have a lot left. I could make a lot more, though a lot of this is going to go in my stash. But let me tell you, I struggled with this kit, and let me tell you why. Okay, these, not really my style. This, not really my style. These, not really my style. I don't typically use, I use gold on occasion, but I don't typically use copper ever. Of course you can use alphas, that's no big deal. Of course you can use chipboard pieces, that's no big deal. Of course you can use epoxy circles, that's no big deal. I don't use large cork pieces ever. That's the first time I ever did that. And then also...
I don't either. Sorry.
So the large cork piece, I don't ever use large cork pieces. I never have. This is the first one I ever used, and I was really surprised I used it because I thought for sure this would be left, this would be left, this would be left. I thought for sure those would be left. I don't have any problem using stamp sets. These small cork pieces I don't mind. Of course, chipboard pieces are fine and all that, but I knew I wasn't going to use all these because orange is not a color I typically scrapbook. So I knew from the get-go that this kit was probably going to be a little bit of a struggle for me. The papers, of course, are fine. I just got to the point, though, that I was tired of working with it and I was forcing it. And when I feel like I'm forcing something, I stop. There's no point in continuing. I'm just going to stop. Now, one thing I will say, though, and I believe I mentioned this in my last video, when you have a kit that is difficult to work with or is not quite your style, instead of doing full scrapbook pages or full project life pages, try doing some inserts. And let me show you what I mean. I'll share my layouts here with you in just a moment, but let me show you what I did at the very end when I had a lot of little pieces left and I just didn't know what to do with it. I made inserts, so I keep a lot of memorabilia that I want to include in my albums. I don't typically share that with you guys on my channel because a lot of times it's just a quick 5-minute throw a couple things together and have your memorabilia in your album. But I did share this one with you just to kind of show you the process. So I took this kind of specialty gold foiled paper, and I included this thing, and it says Happy Thanksgiving, Kaylin, and then it has where he kind of drew on it a little bit. And this was in his 3-year-old preschool class, and it was perfect because this is a painted piece of paper. It's just white paper that he painted orange, and you can see the brush strokes in it. But that was the perfect way for me to include some of these paint brushes. And then I added a little journaling spot here, and then I did use this vellum sticker, which I had to back on some white cardstock, and then just little bits and pieces, some of the craft paper, some of that little green acetate piece left. And then on the back, I also included some more memorabilia. And this was a banner that had all these leaves on it, and it said, "I'm thankful for," and then they put his name, and they wrote whatever he said. And so I just used a lot of extra little pieces to make this up. It was very simple. But this is what I mean. When you're not able to make it work on a layout, or you feel like you're forcing it, take some memorabilia, because you don't really have to embellish memorabilia that much. Here's another one. This was this is my dad's obituary, and the funeral home gave us these laminated cards, and so I just used a couple little pieces to kind of embellish it, because of course I'm going to put that in my album. I keep all these little stickies on here so I know where it goes in my album. This again, these are all the cards we got from my dad's funeral, or that I got from my dad's funeral. And this is the newsletter for the church where it shows when he died, or like his announcement to the church that he had died. And then this is our thank you letter that we had put in the church bulletin for all the support that the church had given. But it had, these are the papers and things from the kit. And then I had put a little bit of washi. This again is another thing that I added, and this was a card that Kaylin had given Ernest for Father's Day, and it said Dad's biggest fan, and he'd colored it, so I just added a label. And then this is the back side of that. I always include all the postcards that my mom sends to Kaylin. She likes to send him postcards, and he loves them. So I include that, and I just added a few little embellishments. See, I'm not using much, but it's enough to be able to use some things from the kit and not feel like I'm just wasting the kit. And then, of course, these are things that I have piled up on my table to include in my scrapbook that I don't always get around to. This is just a thing from my dad's funeral. It's not embellished. It's just in here. And then this is another insert that I made. This is just some scrap paper, but the other things are from the kit. Again, not a whole lot, but just enough to kind of decorate it and include it in my scrapbook. So whenever you're struggling with a kit and you don't know what to do with it, try creating a couple inserts of different memorabilia that you have around, because these are the types of things that we want to get in our album, but we don't always get them in our album. Excuse me. I've seen numerous videos where people say, oh, I have this pile of stuff I need to get in my album, or you see room tours and they're like, oh, this is my memorabilia pile, and it's just stacked. So this is my way of including these type of things in my album, because I want to include them and I don't want to waste this kit. So it was a great way to kind of incorporate different things from the kit and not really waste it, still get my money's worth out of it, but not feel like I'm forcing a scrapbook page to come together. So that's just a little bit about that. All right, these are the layouts that I made. Did a couple 12 by 12 ones. Let me clean off the back of this. I was just going to continue stacking, but that doesn't look the best. Okay. All right, so here are the layouts that I made. Oops. Picked up the papers. All right, this is the first one that I did, and it's called Two Little Cousins. I'll be the first to tell you green and orange are probably my least favorite colors to scrapbook with, so it's funny that I actually picked the green paper to start with. But I like the earthy tones because these pictures were taken outside, and you can see like the fence in the background and the trees, so I thought the green and the brown, the earth tones would be really good to include. This is a very simple layout. A lot of times I do simpler layouts when I have kits because I don't feel like I have enough embellishments. It's not always the case, but I didn't feel like I had a lot to go with this one, so it's pretty simple. I did use a lot of little pieces, but it's relatively simple overall. And there are process videos for all of these, so if you want more detail, please go check those out. This is the second one, and this is where I've used that large cork piece, and it says you've got style, or you've got some style. And these are 3 photos that I included. This is a nice way to incorporate 3 photos into a layout and not feel too cramped. I made them slightly smaller than 4 by 6 so I could space them out a little bit. These are those silver hearts that I mentioned that I used completely. Here is a Project Life page. This is the June 2014 one. Love the colors in this, and I put in my LE Studio box. I keep them in these iris containers. Oops. These little photo box containers. This is where I have my embellishments that I've already opened, color sorted, and then I have a few other ones that are brand sorted, like LE Studio, Simple Stories, and maybe that's it. Everything else is color sorted, but I keep it in the packaging until I'm pretty much have used at least half of it, and then I separate it by color. All right, so there's that one. And then I did this Project Life page, which goes with the June one. This is just the last page of it. Again, all the products through here, and this is where you can see I use some of those numbers. And that's those yellow hearts that I used up completely. And these are all those chipboard pieces that I used up. All right, then I have this 12 by 12 page, and it's called Mama's Little Sweet Pea. And I used a lot of the chipboard pieces on this one, and a lot of those little circle, like enamel circles. Love this. I just really like it. I really got into doing some of the outlining, and then these are the stamps from the kit. I did this Project Life page. This is the last Project Life page. I only did 3 Project Life pages here, and this is the November title page for my 2014 section of my album. All of this stuff is from the kit. Only thing I added was this, which is a partial tag from some Stampin' Up! White tags that I have. I have a pile of them sitting on my desk that I'm just trying to use. That way they don't go to waste. I'm not going to throw them away, but there's also no point in just having 40 of them sitting in my stash. I've used these on a lot of pages, as you can see. All right, and then this is the last actual layout that I did, and this may be my favorite one. I don't do a whole lot of pages about just Ernest or just I, so when I do, I really like them. And this one's called My Babe and His Selfies, because he's notorious for taking his own selfies. You could see most of his pictures, he has his arm out, which is what this is. These are both 4x6 photos, and I just cut this one down. But I used the greens and the oranges. Again, not my favorite colors, but I really like how this one came out. And then I made these photo corners with the stamp packaging. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but it has some gray like lines and detailing. So I really like the way that this worked, how this turned out. I really like it. And then I added my own little enamel perler beads that I made, and then the tags here again. So that's it. So I have 3 Project Life pages and 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 Project Life pages and 4 12 by 12 pages. But I also did probably like 7 or 8 inserts. So I mean, not bad, but really this was not my favorite kit by any means. I used it well enough that I'm happy with it, but I mean, it's not going to be probably in my top 5 at all. I do like the quality. The quality is not the problem. It's just the design choices aren't really my style. So before I would purchase, again, personally, I would take a look at the sneak peek of the reveal of the kits when they come out to determine whether it's really worth purchasing the kit. But anyways, like I said, keep an eye out for any sales that they do, because whenever they have the mystery kits come on sale, it's totally worth spending $5 on a Project Lifestyle kit. That's how much I paid a couple months ago when I purchased 2 of the older kits that they were trying to get rid of. They were $5 each. So my God, I'll spend $5 on a kit and use it, even if it's not my style. You'll get some use out of it. But anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate all of your support, guys, and stay tuned. I have a lot more coming up. All right, bye.